Hey everyone, welcome to the Rosalie Elliott Show. We are going to check out something by James Blunt, The Girl That Never Was. Shout out goes to Sean for this suggestion via donation. Thank you for your support. Are you guys ready? Here we go. James Blunt. Hey, this must be a new one.
Darling, I know we talked about it one too many times, how there was something missing in our lives. A little light.
Aw.
So we tried. It was more than just a twinkle in your eye, but some things you just don't get to decide. At least we tried. The first casualty of life is the plan.
Ooh.
When I look back, I'm not even sure that we were thinking. Somewhere she's probably dancing with her blonde hair falling like ribbons on her shoulders, just like we always saw. Bright eyes spinning in circles in the sunlight. Darling, we tried, but now it's over. We had it all and then we lost the girl that never was. If I could say a million words to take away the pain, what kills me is you're trying to take the blame. You're not to blame. I'll never say I told you so. Sad I thought the worst. Tried drowning you in happiness. I only make it worse. We never should have picked a name.
Wow.
Cause now she has a face.
Wow.
And now no matter what we do, no one will take her place. Somewhere she's probably dancing with her blonde hair falling like ribbons on her shoulders, just like we always saw. Bright eyes spinning in circles in the sunlight. Darling, we tried, but now it's over. We had it all and then we lost the girl that never was. I know we'll never know you. I know we'll never hold you. I never got to show you my love. 'Cause somewhere you're probably dancing with your blonde hair falling like ribbons on your shoulders, just like we always saw. Bright eyes spinning in circles in the sunlight. Darling, we tried, but now it's over. We had it all and then we lost the girl that never was.
Oh, I didn't expect this at all. I know of James Blunt, like I said, You're Beautiful and a couple of those big hits. Haven't listened to him in a while. He has a very distinct voice. Wiedererkennungswert. A lot of re-recognition value. However, I need to translate that better. Oh man, Sean, you son of a gun. That was a good suggestion. Very good suggestion. But I didn't expect this. I thought it was like a love song about the girl that never was, maybe the loved one that got away or the relationship that didn't happen. I did not expect it to be about this. My heart goes out to any one of you, men and women, who have lost a child, who have tried to have a baby, who have not been able to conceive or have conceived and have lost that little life. I hurt with you. I hope this song in some way can allow you through music to heal a little bit, to process what you've been through. Nothing can take that pain away, and no words can fix that. Sometimes we just got to sit in it, and sometimes music can be a catalyst to let those tears come out, to have a cathartic cry, to process. I am so thankful that I have children. I did lose my first daughter, and this is why this song hits home for me. I'm very grateful that I have 4 wonderful children, 2 boys and 2 girls. I'm very, very fortunate. And actually, I was just thinking about an acquaintance who has not been able to conceive, or actually has not been able to carry I think they may have conceived and lost. In my heart, I was thinking about her, and my heart hurts for her because I know there's many women out there who it is more than just a twinkle in their eyes, as he so beautifully said in the song. The songwriting here is absolutely beautiful. The storytelling here, absolutely beautiful. The hook, very catchy. The musical composition, it pulls you in. It's a painful and beautiful ballad. But for those who are trying to conceive, who long to conceive, this is not, it isn't just a twinkle. It isn't just a little sparkle of, oh, I'd like this, right? Sometimes we think when people want something and there's that twinkle in their eye, it's because they're excited and it's, oh, they really wish themselves this, right? Like Christmas lights and the sparkle and the magic and the thing that we would like. Oh, we saw that ring, or we see that necklace, or we see that car, and it just makes us, oh, sparkle. The longing for a child is much deeper than that. And I feel like this song beautifully painted that picture, that this is more than just something you want to add to your Christmas wish list. There's a deep longing in women and men to have a child. And of course, there's different ways we can interpret that psychologically. Does it tie into our existential desire to continue living through our children and children's children? Does that tie into our death anxieties, into our desire to not be alone, to express ourselves freely, to live on through the next generation because of our fear of death and of fading, of not being remembered, of being forgotten? Does it tie into our desire for community, for belonging, for someone to really know us, right? We look for that in a relationship, in a romantic relationship with a partner. We find that though also in the eyes of our children, when we see ourselves reflected, we see a little mini me. We see a child that looks up to us. Does it tie into our desire to be needed, to be loved by someone, to be able to love someone unconditionally? That longing in us that is for something that is bigger than ourselves, something eternal. Of course, there's different theories and different even schools of thought psychologically we could tap into to analyze where does it come from, this desire to want to have a child. But it is more than just a twinkling in the eye. It's more than just a little wish. And when that dream, that desire is crushed, either because you can't conceive or you find out for medical reasons you can't, or you conceive and you lose that child, that is incredible pain. And it's not just when you have a baby, you carry it to term and now you lose it, or you carry it to term, it's born, you have it for a few months, and then something tragic happens. Even when a woman is pregnant for a few weeks or a few months, from the beginning on, there is a bond here, conscious and subconsciously. There's the bloodline, there's shared DNA, there's something growing inside of her womb. And both men and women will experience that differently. Both men and women will grieve the loss of something like that differently. And I had to experience that as well, where a man, perhaps, even as he says, again, so beautifully, he's trying to shower her with happiness. He's trying to fix it. And that's not a bad thing. I think sometimes when women long for comfort, they want someone just to sit with them in their pain. They don't want anyone to come and try to fix it because there is no fixing this. Men and women might misunderstand each other because the woman longs for a companion who understands, who just feels the pain with her. But for a man who wants to be her hero, who wants to protect her, it feels so crushing and you feel so helpless because the man feels this biological innate desire to protect and to make her dreams come true, and this is something he can't fix for her. And so he might desperately try to fix it in other ways, buy her things or run away because its pain is too unbearable, and now she feels alone and isolated and misunderstood, like he doesn't care, like he's not grieving. He may shut down because it's so hard to deal with, or like he says here, like James Blunt says in his song, showers her with all this happiness, and it's making things worse because perhaps for her it's perceived as a lack of grieving, a lack of do you even care? How do how are you smiling so much or trying to make this a happy time? This is not okay, right? I'm not okay. And the man is in his own way grieving and trying and completely differently responding. And of course, there's also an element of different personality types. I'm generalizing to simplify the explanation. But either way, people grieve differently, both men and women, because of our biological differences, the difference in different hormone levels that play a role, difference in how our bodies respond. We women have a completely different healing journey to go through after the loss, physically, not only the bleeding, or I don't want to be too graphic, guys, but we don't talk about this enough. Women go through significant physical pain after the loss, depending on how far along they were in that journey. Just physically speaking alone, the bleeding, the body trying to readjust back to normal hormone levels, the hormones being all out of whack. perhaps the pregnancy being so far along that now, after the loss, the breasts are lactating and producing milk for a baby that's no longer there. So there's significant physical pain trying to get the body back to a normal place. Not to even talk about the mental turmoil. And when he said, it's not your fault. When a woman loses a child, the big struggle with this, that was for myself, and I believe also for many other women, is feeling like the one thing that I'm supposed to be able to do biologically as a woman, get pregnant and have a baby. Not that's every woman's dream. Not that a woman is less of a woman if she can't or doesn't want to. There's nothing wrong with that. If a woman says, that's not for me, I don't want kids, I focused on my career, I don't even want to be married. There's no shame in that. We all have different callings and we need different types of men and women in this society to function. But when a woman does long to be a mother, and she wants to, at some point in her life, do that and experience that. In this one life we have, regardless of what you believe of the afterlife, though all that we know is this one experience in this one life. Talk about existential fear and death anxieties when in this one life where you want to make meaning of life and you want to maximize your experience of living, you can't have something that is most precious to you. Making another life, creating another life, loving on another life, creating a family with your loved one. There's also relational elements here that you wanted to share this with your spouse or your partner. You want to have a child together. This is not just me, procreating and seeing my little self running around the globe. This is also something that comes in play when it comes to marriage, something you want to create together. When you go through that loss of not being able to do that, many women, including myself, felt like the one thing that I was supposed to do, I couldn't do as a woman. But not only that, feeling like you failed the child. I felt like that. I felt like it was my fault. My body's broken, that I went into premature labor. If I would have only been better about certain care, if I would have only known the signs, if I would have only taken more precaution, I failed my child. And that was one of the hardest parts, to cling to the hope that she's okay, that it's not my fault. So when he said that, that was so poignant to one of the big parts of why it hurt so much. A physical pain aside that I described, the emotional turmoil of feeling like you're to blame and the shame that comes with that. It's such a lonely place and it's not talked about enough. But then also for him to shed light on his pain, I really am grateful for that, because the woman is hurting significantly, physical, emotional distress. So much that ties into our identity and our sense of self, that maternal instinct of wanting to provide and care for a child and protect them from harm and not being able to do this. But then I also am really grateful for his part in this story of shedding light on what it does to men. Many men are hurting out there when they lose a child, and they may grieve, as I said earlier, differently. They may detach or shut down or stonewall. And to a woman, it may feel like they didn't care. But it's important that we also don't dismiss the man's pain and say, well, he wasn't the one who carried that child and he didn't go through the physical pain. No, but a man who really loves his wife is also hurting physically and emotionally, because he wants to be her hero and he longed for a child too. He wanted to see his little girl grow up. He had his dreams. It ties into his death anxieties and his shame too, that he failed somehow. And my message to any of you, men or women, who have lost a child or who have realized you can't conceive, I want you to know it's not your fault. I want to reiterate what James Blunt says. You are not to blame. And I am so sorry. I wish I could take away the hurt. I know what it feels like. It is a very lonely place. And I can't tell you that it will ever completely go away. You will always miss that little one. And with the way he was painting this picture of the way he pictures this little girl with her blonde hair, like ribbons around her shoulder, I've done that. I've pictured my little girl, brown little curls or brown little waves, wondering what she was like. If she was more just gentle spirited and timid, or maybe she's really feisty. I would love to believe she's somewhere in fields of gold, just running free in the presence of God and with the angels and the stardust. I'd like to believe that she's happy and at peace. I would love to believe that I get to meet her one day. But I hope that through music, which is so psychologically powerful and goes beyond, I feel, understanding and just simple analysis, I hope that this song can allow you to feel your pain, to maybe also envision something that gives you peace and hope, to be reminded that it's not your fault, to find some comfort and to know you're not alone. It won't ever take the pain away. It won't ever undo what has been done. But I hope it can bring you some comfort and some peace and some validation that it's okay to be hurting. It's okay to be confused. It's okay to be angry. This will need time. Healing can come, though. Healing can come. And I do believe and I do hope so much for you that your dreams will still come true, even if it'll never be exactly what you have hoped for. And in this case, in this story, this little girl will never be. It was the girl that never was. But still, that there's other hope still available. It will never replace her. Even our other children, even if we are as fortunate to now have other children, will never replace that child we lost. But that there's healing possible, that comfort can come. And I hope that the song contributes to that for you. Go check out James Blunt's music. Listen to his song, The Girl That Never Was. If you're new to his music, please go check out his channel and let him know that I sent you. Subscribe here as well, and I'll see you on the next ride. And may peace and comfort and healing be with you. See you on the next ride.